Okay, now it's live. So this is the July 2017 project call for the GNURadio project, and we have a small number of people on the actual call themselves, but we have people in IRC, I guess, and also there is a live link that you can follow. I'm just going to post it in IRC as well. Give me a second while I do that. We do have a lot of announcements though, and so Jonathan and I will be splitting those up. And I will head straight into it. The first thing I'd like to talk about today, in lieu of Ben, who is unfortunately not able to make this call, is the GNURadio conference, which is, of course, our big event of the year. Registration, everything is live as usual. So there's still seats you can buy. You can still buy tickets, and I would really, really, really like to see a lot of people there. Please come to GNURadio conference. There's a lot of fantastic content. We've hopefully proven that in the last couple of years. And this time we not only have fantastic content, we're also in San Diego, which I have heard is supposed to be awesome. And I'm looking very much forward to going there for the first time, actually, myself. So did you want to say something on San Diego?
I just said it is awesome.
Okay. Good. So the things I did want to talk about is, yes, you can still buy tickets, and tickets will be available for, we'll keep the ticket shop open as long as we possibly can. So while we highly appreciate it if you bought them early so we can plan better, that will probably not go away in the near future. I'm not quite sure about sponsor slots though, if they're still available, but we have a couple of sponsors at all levels already, and I'm pretty sure that at the lower tier we have sponsor slots available because they're usually easier to make space for. However, the one thing I do want to point out is that the submission deadline for papers is, oh man, I'm trying to pull it up because I forgot the actual date, is very, very soon. You wouldn't happen to know, Jonathan?
Not off the top of my head, sorry.
So I think it's this week, actually. So we'll be closing the submission for papers. If you do have something that you really want to get in, contact us immediately because we already have a lot of submissions. There'll be a fair amount of work doing all the reviews, etc. So it's possible that we might not be able to accommodate you if you are late. So please keep that in mind. And then we'll have the notifications of acceptance coming out, hopefully as soon as possible. A couple of things worth pointing out. Yeah, so it's in sunny and gorgeous San Diego. We'll actually have a ham radio exam on site. That's a new thing. Speaking of ham radio, no, actually, I'm going to bump that. Must have anything else GRCon related. Okay, no, I don't have anything else GRCon related. I just want to sort of say the date again. It's September 11th through 15th, and the schedule for the agenda. There is already a rough schedule, a draft for the agenda up, and as I said, if you want to submit a paper for the proceedings, you can do that, but you have to do it ASAP. If you don't think you can get it done this week, then please get in touch with us today, if possible, and we'll see if we can make something happen. But it's possible that we cannot because, as I said earlier, we already had a lot of submissions. There's something I forgot on the agenda, and I just wanted to give a shout out to the Ham Radio conference in Friedrichshafen, Germany, which was last weekend. There was the SDR Academy, SDRA, which is organized by a couple of hams that are also SDR enthusiasts. There were a couple of GNURadio people there, and there were also a lot of interesting talks. And as far as I know, the talks were recorded and will be made available online. And in the past, Marcus Heller has been updating the GNURadio list on that. And I don't know if he's still in charge, but someone will probably point us to the links to talks. And unrelated, or slightly related, if you are organizing a conference somewhere in maybe Europe is a popular region for this kind of thing, and you want to add some GNURadio content, please reach out to us. This is something we do more and more. It's becoming more and more popular, and it's something we love doing. So outside of our absolutely fantastic GNURadio conference, which you really should visit, there's also other places to speak about GNURadio and hear about GNURadio content. Okay, I've been going on long enough about the conference and other conferences, so I'm just going to throw it to Jonathan for a couple of updates on releases, etc.
Okay, so it's been a little while since we've given an update on where things are with the various branches in the GNURadio tree and what our current work is and what our plans are. We're working on sort of 3 different development tips. The first one being our maintenance branch, and this is where we integrate all of the bug fix pull requests that we get. And so, our current release is 3.7.11. We have 43 different pull requests that have been merged into the maintenance branch, and there's some open issues remaining, but we're expecting to cut a 3.7.11.1 maintenance release fairly soon. And what this will be is the functionality that exists today in 3.7.11, but with these 43 merged bug fix pull requests. Separate from the maintenance tip on the master branch is where we're developing our new features inside the 3.7 API. And when the code reaches maturity here, it will get released as 3.7.12. Right now, the work that is going on in progress, we're doing a backport of the Qt5 support, which already exists on the next branch. So we'll be able to start using the Qt5 version of our Qt GUI widgets fairly soon. The recent work that was integrated was the new symbol synchronization blocks by Andy Walls. These are fantastic. They are still going through some testing and development of examples, but it's an combined block that allows you to implement symbol synchronization where you have a choice of 8 different timing error detectors and 3 or 4 different ways of doing the interpolation on the output side. It's a superset of everything we have in the tree right now, and we're expecting these to probably go on as the not the only way, but the general way of doing things once we get to 3.7.8. There has been some, and Martin, if you want to comment a little bit about the rodent contest, but the results of that contest, the winning team submitted 5 different pull requests that are some pretty sizable performance optimizations in the digital television, the GRTV component in GNURadio. We're waiting on copyright license agreements from them, but that's going to be a great speed up in our software-based TV standard implementations. On the branch so far for 3.7.12, we've got 45 closed pull requests. This is in addition to the 43 bug fix requests, so that's 88 so far that will go into 3.7.12. Finally, on the 3.8 branch, we have work going on in several different areas. The Python 3 branch is the one where most of the work is happening now. What is in place currently, we've just recently integrated a huge amount of work by Sebastian Koslowski and Seth Heitfield in updating GRC to Python 3 and also the conversion from the old Python Cheetah template system to the Python YAML parsing system. What this will enable us to do is to switch from XML-based GRC files that describe blocks to a YAML format. That on its own is a good thing, but it was forced by the fact that the Cheetah parser that we're using does not exist in Python 3. And so not only do we have to do a fundamental conversion of GRC to the new Python, but we had to rewrite a large amount of code around flow graph generation based on that. Also in this branch, just starting, and Martin, if you want to add a little detail, you can, a new Success project that will implement C++ code generation out of GRC. So in addition to the code generator and GRC, creating Python-based GNURadio applications that use the C++ underlying blocks, with this feature, we'll be able to generate C++ applications, where there's no Python involved, and that's just now getting underway. With 3.8, we've had 45 closed pull requests, some small, some very large. We tend to take the large development and squash them into one merge. But we found out somewhat by accident that when we do the 3.8 merge back into master for the 3.8 release, it's something like 1,100 commits and 1,600 files touched. So this is going to be a major change once this gets more mature. The last thing I'll talk about in our continuous integration testing, we have for several years been using the Coverity static analysis tool. This was originally set up by Philip Ballister, I don't know, 5 years ago. We went through a period where we weren't working on it because our infrastructure was sort of starting to get some bit rot. That has been recently revived and working. The static analysis tool, allows us to find, bugs that we would not normally find during QA testing, and so it's been a good source of places where people can easily contribute to GNURadio by going and looking at the static analysis database and fixing the bugs that it's encountering there. Anyway, back to you, Martin.
Thank you. Yeah. So first of all, a quick addendum to the paper submission deadline. I finally found it. So it's actually today, not tomorrow, end of the week, as I said earlier. So yeah, if you have something, please make sure it reaches us today. If you really, really, really think you have something fascinating, awesome, which you can have today, still let us know by today. And then the final acceptance is currently slated for August 1st. That might slip a little. Yeah, but otherwise that's it. And yeah, so on the topic of the Rotor Trust competition, so you sort of summarized all the technical aspects, but I just really quickly wanted to give out a huge shout out to Rotor Trust for just doing this kind of contest. It's an amazing way to get people involved in the community. The fact that actual pull requests came out of this is amazing. Yeah, we love it. It's really, really, really fantastic. Yeah, so I was going to talk about GSOC and SOCUS anyway. So unfortunately, none of the mentors could make it to this call, but I'll give a little status update. So SOCUS is ESA's Summer of Code program, Summer of Code in Space. We've been participating for the 3rd year now, and Håkon Voxeter, I think is his name. I probably got that wrong, is the student who will be working on the C++ export feature from GRC. So this is not contradicting what Jonathan said, but I just want to clarify it. So the flow graphs that come out of it will be Python, but GRC will not be Python, but GRC, of course, will still be a Python program. So we won't be re-implementing GRC in C++ or anything. So you still need Python to run GRC, but then the actual code that falls out of it, you will no longer need Python. And I think I've heard people from the embedded community say that they're particularly interested in this kind of thing. As for GSOC, unfortunately, one of the students who originally signed up has dropped out of the program, but Luca and Kartik are still active, and what I'm very happy to say is that they're not only working on their projects, but they're also active on the mailing list. So I'm really happy about that. That also includes Håkon, and so Luca Moritz has been working on the DIB code, and like he's actually got stuff working and streaming over the air music and stuff like that. So check out his blog, and also Kartik also has a blog, and he's he's working on the Boki GUI. So this is sort of a web-based GUI that falls out of GRC. Yeah, he has a couple of screenshots there, and I'm hoping he will also add a screencast for those who don't want to recompile his branch, because Luca's work is in our free module, which is a bit easier to grab and try than Kartik, who, because he requires changes to GRC, is actually maintaining his own GNURadio branch. But still, great work from all those students, and we're really happy that this is happening. Yeah, so that's all the items on the agenda. I don't know. Did you think of anything last minute, Jonathan, that you wanted to bring up?
Not really.
Yeah,
I was hoping we would have more people in person here and on IRC, but I'm sure people reviewing the recorded session may come up on the list with questions.
Yeah, I hope so. We usually get a bit more traffic in this. But if that's it, that's also fine. Then we'll just keep it with all those announcements. Yeah. Thanks everyone for contributing to GNURadio or using it. And I hope to see many people at GRCon. And otherwise, we will have our next developer call. Let me look it up. August 17th. And in September, we probably won't have a call because of the conference. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. See you on the mailing list, online, or next month in the call. Bye-bye.